Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're exploring a really fundamental aspect of how we connect with people, the art of gentle persuasion.
Mhm.
Our deep dive is based on this fascinating source, the art of gentle persuasion. And well, our mission is basically to pull out the key ideas, the things that'll help you handle those tricky moments.
Yeah, those times when you have to say no or maybe explain a difficult decision without, upsetting someone you genuinely care about.
Exactly.
And what's really interesting here is how this source looks at what seem like simple rejections. It doesn't just see them as saying no.
Right.
It frames them more like strategic moves, acts of communication that are really designed to keep relationships intact.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea centers on a pretty common situation.
Like everyday life stuff.
Totally. Where you've got maybe two ways to handle something and you need to explain why you chose one way to a friend or maybe a colleague, even family.
And here's the real twist, isn't it? The focus isn't just on what you're saying, but really how you deliver it.
Precisely. The main goal is to phrase your choice so carefully, so sensitively, that the other person doesn't end up feeling angry or dismissed.
Yeah, disregarded.
Yeah.
And the source material we're looking at, it lays out this very specific kind of high pressure exercise.
Oh yeah, the time limit.
You get just 60 seconds to prep your thoughts.
Just a minute.
And then another 60 seconds for the actual spoken response. I mean, talk about concise communication.
It sounds really daunting at first, that time pressure. 60 seconds isn't long.
No kidding.
But if you look closely, it actually forces a really important shift. Instead of just reacting, maybe getting defensive,
Which is easy to do.
right, it makes you be proactive. It makes you think about empathy in your refusal. And that prep phase, that minute you get for notes, it's broken down. 3 key steps.
Okay, so what are they? First step seems pretty direct. You've just got to pick a side. Choose the position you're going to defend.
Mhm.
No waffling.
Exactly. No fence sitting. Then, and this is really crucial, you have to state the purpose of your response right away, up front.
Ah, okay, like your main point, your topic sentence sort of thing.
Yeah.
Setting the stage.
Yeah, exactly that. Think of it as your opening statement. It sets a clear but also empathetic tone right from the beginning. Kind of disarms potential pushback.
Right. Makes sense. And the third step in that quick prep.
Then you quickly jot down, say, 2 or 3 main reasons why you can't do the thing, whatever it is. But, and this is key, always showing you understand the other person's point of view or situation.
Okay.
And this is where the source says, use your imagination a bit, craft some extra details to make your reasons believable, but still understanding.
So you're not just listing facts, you're building a little narrative.
Kind of, yeah, a plausible one. Then your 60 seconds of prep are up, and you move into actually speaking. And that part's structured too.
Right. So you deliver it like a mini speech, a coherent paragraph.
Pretty much. You start with that clear opening you planned, the purpose statement.
Okay.
Then you lay out those 2 or 3 reasons you brainstormed, using those carefully crafted, plausible explanations.
The ones with the imaginative details.
Exactly. And you always wrap it up with a clear, concluding sentence. Something concise, leaves no doubt, but still aims for goodwill.
So it's really not just about saying no, it's this whole art of explaining why in a way that respects the other person.
Perfectly put. And that leads us nicely into a specific example the source uses, which really brings this whole method to life.
Yeah, let's get into that. To really see how this works, let's imagine this scenario the source lays out. It feels pretty relatable. Picture this. You drop your kid off at school, phone rings, it's the school.
Uh-oh.
They need parent volunteers for a class field trip today, a good cause, helping out.
Okay, sounds reasonable.
But then you suddenly remember, oh wait, that friend of yours, they just surprised you with these amazing, expensive baseball tickets for today, the exact same day.
Ouch. Okay, dilemma time.
Big time. So
Yeah.
you've got these two, good intentions colliding. The school might have to cancel the trip if they don't get enough parents. That's bad.
Right, the kids miss out.
But your friend, they spent real money on those tickets. They'll be genuinely upset, maybe feel blown off if you bail on the game. Someone's going to be disappointed, right?
Yeah, seems unavoidable.
Yeah.
So what does the source say here? Is there a right answer?
That's what's so interesting. The source explicitly says there isn't a correct choice. A good response isn't about picking the right option.
Uh-huh.
It's about how organized and how empathetic your explanation is, whichever way you go.
So the process is the key, not the outcome itself.
Exactly. You either have to talk to the school and explain why you can't make the field trip, or you talk to your friend and explain why you can't make the game.
And the source gives an example of one of those.
It does. A really good one, actually. It shows someone choosing the first option. talking to the school. Let's call him Mr. Turner, calling Marcy at the school. He starts off really polite, but gets straight to the point, that purpose statement we talked about. He says something like, "Hi, I am hopeful you have enough parents to help with the field trip today, Marcy. I am sorry that I cannot attend, but something suddenly came up."
Right. Direct, but apologetic. Sets the stage immediately. No beating around the bush.
Exactly. Then come the reasons, and this is where you see that careful crafting, that imaginative detail.
Okay, so what's his excuse?
Mr. Turner explains, "An old friend from out of town asked me to attend a baseball game with him. We have not seen or spoken with each other for 30 years, so this is a very special occasion for us."
Okay. So he frames it not just as a game, but as a significant, like, once-in-a-lifetime reunion. Makes it sound much more compelling than just going to a game.
Totally. But he doesn't just leave it there hanging. He immediately tries to address the problem he's causing the school. He offers to make amends.
How does he do that?
He says, "Now, to make amends, I will offer you my time for the next 2 field trips, as I know there is another one at the end of the month, and again in 2 months' time. I can guarantee I will help in whatever you need."
Oh, that's smart. So he's not just apologizing. He is offering a concrete solution for the future. Shows commitment, even though he can't help today.
Right. It shows he understands the inconvenience and values helping out, just not this specific time. And then he adds another layer to his reason, another bit of that imaginative detail to really seal it.
What else does he add?
He reinforces it with, "Again, I am sorry I cannot participate, but this is a situation that I cannot change as my friend will move to another country and we will probably never see each other again."
Wow. Okay, so he really dials up the urgency and the irreplaceability of this opportunity with his friend. Makes it sound truly unavoidable.
It does. And then the conclusion is just simple, polite. "I hope you can understand. Thank you."
And that whole thing, all those parts, the apology, the reason, the making amends, the reinforcement, fits into that 60-second window.
Yeah. Apparently. The source notes it's about 149 words, all delivered thoughtfully within that tight time frame. It really highlights the power of preparation.
It really does. It's almost like a mini performance. Carefully structured, but delivered naturally. You can see how that would be way more effective than just, mumbling an excuse.
Absolutely. I mean, think about times you've had to say no and maybe stumbled over your words. I know I have. Having this kind of structure feels like it would make a huge difference.
Yeah, even if you have more than 60 seconds in real life, the principles still hold, don't they?
That's a great point. What do you think are the big takeaways from Mr. Turner's approach that apply even when we're not, on the clock?
Well, I think the core lesson is universal. Whether you have a minute or an hour, it's about framing things respectfully. Mr. Turner shows the power of giving a clear, plausible reason, even if it needs a bit of, let's say, enhancement for believability.
The imaginative detail.
Right. And maybe most importantly, offering a path forward. Finding a way to make amends or mitigate the negative impact on the other person. It shows you value the relationship.
So it shifts the focus. It's not just about your inability to do something right now.
Exactly. It becomes about your ongoing commitment, your value within that relationship or community, even when you have to say no this one time. It's about managing expectations and preserving that goodwill.
So bringing it all together, what does this really mean for you listening? This whole deep dive into the art of gentle persuasion, it shows that handling these social challenges, saying no effectively, it's not just about the word itself.
No, it's much more about the architecture of how you say it, the careful planning that goes into it.
Yeah, delivering the message clearly, concisely, and like you said, using those empathetic explanations, offering ways to make things right.
And it's pretty clear how having that kind of structured, thoughtful response, even when you're feeling pressured, becomes a really powerful tool.
It's not just damage control, trying to avoid anger.
Not at all. It's proactive. It's about actively looking after your relationships while still being able to assert your own needs or limitations gracefully.
Which leads to a really interesting final thought for you to chew on. In cases like Mr. Turner's, where the explicit goal is not to make someone angry, to keep things harmonious, the source encourages using your imagination for believable excuses.
The tricky part.
So here's the question. Where do you draw the line? When your aim is this gentle persuasion, this maintaining of harmony, how do you balance crafting a believable, imaginative excuse with, well, the absolute truth? What's the ethical line there for you?